In this video, I'll teach you how to create a basic FAQ accordion. Let's get straight into it. In this example website, whistlerstreettattoo.com/FAQs, and I've done a website review of this website that I created. You can see we have an FAQ accordion. So when the user clicks onto specific items, it then opens up and it plays this really nice animation where it goes from a plus to a minus. We are not going to do this in the tutorial, but we'll do a simplified version. So if you understand the premise, you can actually do whatever you want. So let's go ahead and jump into the Webflow. All right, guys, right now I'm in Webflow and I just have a header one that says this is a FAQ accordion. So let's go ahead and custom build this from scratch. So what we need to do is let's go ahead and drag a div block because that's where everything starts. Let's always name our class and not be a noob. And let's just call it FAQ wrapper. From here, I might just give it a top margin, of like 3 rems. And then from here, what we can do is add another div block and call it FAQ-item. And then in this FAQ-item, we want 2 things. We want a question and we want an answer. So let's go ahead and add another div block called FAQ question. And what we can do here is just copy and paste this FAQ question div block that we just created. And then we can go ahead and just rename this by clicking this arrow and hitting duplicate class and going ahead and clicking FAQ-answer. So now that's done, what we can do is we can go ahead and just add a text block or a header block for SEO purposes. In this example, I'll just put a text block. And then with this text block, it's currently sitting inside FAQ-question. So instead of putting a class in this text block, which is just redundant and not really efficient, you can if you want, we can actually just style the parent div block, which is FAQ question. So let's go ahead and just make this, let's just say 3.2 rems, or if you're using pixels, you can do that. Let's put the height as 1.5 unitless height. This is looking way too big. Let's go ahead and put it 2.2, maybe 1.8. Let's do 1.8. And then, we'll just change the color to like red, just because. And then that's it. So we can go ahead and go to the FAQ answer and just go ahead and add a paragraph text or just a regular text. I've added a text. And now because I've added a text, I can go ahead and style it. I'll put this as 1.1 rem in size, height 1.5 unitless height, and that is it. So what I can do from here is I can go ahead and just give it a name. So, who is Mr. Robot? Because we don't know. Now we can actually put the answer in. Mr. Robot is Rami Malek, the actor. LOL. So that's it. So once that's done, what we can do from here is go to FAQ item and go ahead and apply flex. We can flex this to the vertical. And what this allows us to do is apply something called gap. So because right now we have this FAQ item, which is the parent, holding FAQ question and FAQ answer, we can actually put a gap of, let's just say 2 rems. That way it just spaces it out. Let's put 1.5. And that's it. So now what we can do is we can just style this even more with the FAQ item. We can put 1 rem padding on everything. And we can go ahead and put a background color of, let's just say white. And we can go ahead and put a radius of, let's just say 1 rem. And that's it. So you can style it however you want. But what we also need to do is to add that Lottie file. And in order to do this, let's go ahead and just go to LottieFlow.com. And this is a thin suite solution. And with this website, which I'll leave in the comment, you can scroll down and you can actually go ahead and go to FAQs or accordions by clicking drop downs right here. And this is just a solution that gives you different animations. So you can go ahead and just select one. Let's go ahead and select drop down 5 because it looks pretty cool. And obviously this is just one website. You can go ahead and, custom do this. But in this case, I'm using a Lottie. So let's go ahead and download this. And once that's downloaded, I'm going to go ahead and just drag this from my computer to here. And then here we can just go ahead and give this a class of arrow accordion. And we can go ahead and just give it a size. Let's just say 1 rem or maybe 1.5 height and 1.5 rem width. And then from here, what we can do is we can put flex and put it to the center. Again, this doesn't have to be a Lottie. So a Lottie is just a bunch of images compiled together. It's like a video file. It's like keyframes. This can also just be a static plus icon or a static div block with a background, and you can animate everything. So I'll explain everything, but as long as you understand the premise of what we're doing, that's all that really matters. So right here with FAQ questions, we now have this text block, which is the question. I've just dragged it to the top. Then we have the accordion. Right now they're sitting on top of each other because by default that's how web works. So let's go ahead and go FAQ questions, apply flex, and we can go ahead and put this to space between, which pushes them aside, and we can go ahead and put the alignment to the center. So once that is done, everything looking good. So obviously you can fine tune this, but this is not the tutorial on fine tuning. I'm gonna go ahead and click FAQ item and then just paste it a couple of times inside the wrapper. And you'll notice there is no spacing. So again, in this FAQ wrapper, we can apply flex, we can put it to vertical, and we give it a gap of 1 rem. So what I've done here is just putting a gap between all the items, which is inside FAQ wrapper. So similar principle of what we did right here with FAQ questions and FAQ answer. And again, this is web. So really you could have done this by adding a bottom margin. So just as long as you understand the premise. All right, once that's done, we can go ahead and animate everything now. So what we can do is with FAQ item selected, we hit interactions, hit plus, and then hit mouse tap, because we want the first animation to play to open the accordion. So right now what we can do is we can hit a new animation and call it FAQ-open. And then from here, what we can do is we can go ahead and hit the FAQ answer, and hit plus, and we go hide show, and we can hit none. We can go ahead and hit set as initial state, because we want this answer to be hidden when everything is loaded, so the initial state. So make sure this is ticked right here. And you'll notice there is different options like all elements, children, etc. We want this to be children because we want to apply it for every single item. So instead of manually adding this custom animation that we're going to set up right now, we can just hit children, which we can apply the effect to the class. So the next thing we want to do is we want to start the opening. So right now what we can do here is hit end and hit hide show with the FAQ answer still selected. And now we want to hit flex, because we now want it so when the user hits this box, it's going to show the answer. What else do we want it to do with this arrow accordion or this Lottie file? We can actually hit the plus icon and we can hit Lottie in the initial state. Right now you can see its initial state. I just tick this button right here, and we'll go ahead and just select this and move it to wherever it should start, which should be a plus. So it can start around 65%. Again, you don't have to use a Lottie. Then when the user clicks on it, because this is initial state right here, we hit this plus icon, hit Lottie, and we want this to go from a plus to a minus. So maybe somewhere like, let's say in this case, it would be around, let's say, 0%. So this actually goes from 65 back to 0. And then from this case, what we can do is we can hit save, and that's it. So now we can apply this to the class. We can hit on second click, start animation, duplicate the open animation, and just rename it to close. We'll go ahead and delete the initial states right here, and we'll go ahead and just reverse everything. So this answer, we now want to hide it, and this Lottie, we want to move from 0% to 65%. Hit save, hit preview. You can see now we have an accordion. If I click on it, it opens and it closes just like that. And what you can also do is with the FAQ item selected, you can go ahead and change the cursor to a pointer. And that way when the mouse hovers over it, you can see it has this pointing animation. But that's the premise. So again, let me just explain it. We're going to build everything out. And then once we build everything out, we're going to apply an interaction to the item. And we're going to apply 2 interactions. One is when the user first clicks on it, what happens? This FAQ item is revealed. This Lottie file goes from a plus to a minus. Again, doesn't look perfect, but that's the premise. And then when the user clicks on it again, the FAQ answer goes from show to display none, and the Lottie goes back from, in this case, 65% or 0% back to 65%. And then we've just applied everything to class, so that's why it's working for everything. And that's how you build an accordion. So let me know what you think. Again, this is just the main premise. If you just understand this premise, you can really do anything. You can apply animations, you can style everything. But I hope you found this video helpful. And if you want to build this into a CMS, that's super easy as well. You just go ahead and use this component into your CMS. If you found this video helpful, please check out my website, dereksu.com.au/value, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.